All right, this lab called Olympus by TryHackMe. It is about the Greek gods, of course, and we will see what Greek gods have got to say about pen testing overall. The IP address is given as 10.10.217.141. I went ahead and run the initial scanning, port scanning. It seems that we have SSH port 22 and HTTP port 80 are open. And we have this notice here that didn't follow the redirect to the host name. My understanding from here is that this is a virtual hosting environment. And here, instead of an IP, host name is used. So we can fix it, or we can associate our IP address to the host name by changing the etc host file. Sudo, I can open it with nano. And what I can do is I can add a new line showing the IP address of this target machine and relate it to Olympus THM. All right, save it. Okay. Well, if we can go to the web page, we can see this. But the reason I went to the web page right now is out of the two ports, 22 is probably not our first attack vector. We don't have any credentials acquired yet. So let's see what we can get on the HTTP service here. So now we have this website with a note saying that this new website is under construction. There is an old version of the website and it is still accessible. Well, it's a great attack vector for us because it shows us that on the server side, directories are all over from the previous, and also we can find some interesting places to start with by first knowing what directories are available on the server. So what we can do is we can have a quick GoBuster search, and this search can help us to find out the hidden directories or accessible directories. Olympus.thm, and I'm using common word list from their database. I'm using 50 threads. By default, the thread number is 10. I'm changing it to 50 to make it a quick search. All right. So it is 15, almost complete. Okay, it is done now. So out of the list given here, we have some redirection 301s, and we have 200 index page, and then this 301 redirection here that has a tilde symbol that is catching our attention. It is probably having this tilde sign because it is from the old web page. So let's try to see what we can get out of it here. And place it as an addition directory. We have this let's call it forum with Victor CMS, and it is also here as well CMS on the page title. So CMS is for content management services. So we are using a tool called Victor, right? And if we go down, we have a search bar here and a login page. And in the problem definition here on task 1, it says that brute forcing is out of scope here. So I won't try brute forcing here on this login page. If we go there, we will see the rest of the page. So on the search, if I can just try this single code, I'll get the SQL syntax error. Okay, so we can now understand up until that point that data management system is a SQL, and the content management is Victor's CMS. So let's search on the internet, see what we can get. Victor CMS exploit and see what we can have, see as reported, documented about that service. I went through this already, so I know that this is exploit database is really fitting really what we have here. It's a Victor CMS, and where we have the search SQL injection vulnerability. Okay, it's a recently new one, and here it says that there is this payload. We need to include that payload on the search. You can either use burp suite or SQL map, and in the burp suite you can have this post request and the payload over here, and in the SQL map you have this single line. So I'm more inclined towards using SQL map on this case, so let's use that and have this SQL map to do rescue. Now I can use that. SQL map output is showing elongated map, so I'm just making this bigger so that tables are not messed up. All right, so let me use over here. Okay, I can paste it. What I have to change here is basically just this host name, which I have it up here. Oh, well, I have to have it on the search PHP, so I need to make a search first. Okay, that I need to. Okay, okay, that's my domain webmaster search. Okay, that should work. SQL map is asking me if I want to process this post body. No, just take as it is. It's telling me now there is a cookie here. Well, cookies are important here because we are trying to get access to web applications, so we need to get authenticated, so we need to have this cookie information. So yes, and it went through the rest of the work, and here it shows us that there are 6 databases available on this domain, and out of the 6, this Olympus is really our focus. So what I will do now is I will adjust the command. So instead of DBS, I will have one tag and uppercase D for domain. So Olympus, and I would like to see the tables given to me for that domain. So for each, so for that database. So each database they have tables inside it. So I would like to fetch the tables out from that Olympus database. So this is the command I'm giving. So uppercase D is for the database, and then tag tables is just fetching all the tables from that database. Nope. Yes. Okay. So it shows that on this database Olympus, we have 6 tables. And if you look at the 6 tables here, what catches our attention really is this one, right? So we need to dig down into this one. So I will change it to T for the table and flag. And I would like it to get dumped on the terminal. And yes, okay. That is our first flag. So basically we went into the available databases and select Olympus as database of interest for us. And then from that database, we first fetch the table names, and we saw this table called flag, and we dump the content on this flag, and it shows us this flag text. So that is really what we have to confirm as flag number 1. Okay, that's good. We did that. Now, let me go back to the SQL Server, and if you remember, we have this um, we have this login page here. We also have this SSH open. So that means we need to acquire some user credentials. So why don't we look at the SQL map databases, in fact, Olympus database, and see which one can include user credentials. Obviously, the last table users can have some user credentials associated. So we can go back to the comment, and instead of flag table, we'll go to users table, and we like to users the information dumped on this output here. No and yes. Okay, there you go. So we have the entries. We have three entries for the users: Prometheus, root, and Zeus. All except from the root, the Greek gods. Well, here on this column, it shows the user passwords, but they are not really the usernames, they are the hashes. So we have the hashes for the users, and if you pay attention to the beginning of the hash text, you will see $sign and 2. It shows us that probably the same hashing algorithm is used for all of them. So we need to understand what does that really mean to us. So I went ahead and got visit this hashnet or hashcat. Let me remember one time. Hash. I'm looking at my notes to see what name I use for this website. Give me one second. Okay, hashcat.net. I'm using it a lot, but I can't remember the name now. So I will go to wiki here and go down and example hashes. Now it gives me the opportunity to understand what kind of hashing algorithm is used for our cases. So I will search for $sign in here, 2 here. Now the results, okay, here you go. Not the first one, the second one. This is called bcrypt, starting with $sign and 2, and here you see the example. So this is a good example for us. So we will use this hashcat tool, and hashcat tool requires us to write down the hash mode. So our hash mode is 3200. Okay, so I'll go over here, but before I do the hash cracking work, I need to copy this hash to my local drive. Copy, and I can go to the directory that I like to work on, and I can make a new directory. I use G, so let's do it again. So I have nothing over there. cdgls. Okay. I now have the directory for me to work on. What I will do is I will generate a hash file. You can use echo here because there are odd characters and they don't get translated or moved into the file directly. Paste, exit. Okay. So now we have the cache hash. I'm sorry. What we need to do is we need to use this hashcat tool, and we use this mode 3200 to represent this bcrypt hashing here, hashing algorithm here. Hash is the name of the file we'll be cracking, and I'll be using the RACU, and I don't. Let's see if I have to use that. Okay, so okay, so I worked on this earlier. So the result is in the pod file. That's what it says. So I don't need to run again. But in your case, you need to run this command as it is, and it takes maybe a couple of minutes, not more than that. So I will run the same command, but I will use the show option because hashnet will not go through this same cracking on the um, hashes stored in the file. All right. So this for that hash, the password is summertime. Okay, we get this report recorded. Now, let's go back to our SQL map. We are done with with this hash cracking. So we have three usernames, and I wasn't successful on the other two. So I'm focusing on the first one, on this walkthrough. So far, we have one user that we have the password for, which is Prometheus. So why don't we go to this login web page on this uh, tilde webmaster directory and see if we can get something out of it. Prometheus, and the password is summertime. Okay, now good. So we are able to enter the um, admin page. Well, what I notice in here is that this admin page is really showing us the content of the SQL map that we had, or SQL databases. So what I mean by that, let me go back to this here. So if I, let's say, if I not the post, like go to comments, so I can go check out this comments table. Nope. Okay, it will show me that on this SQL map. And if I go to comments here, so it says the same content here and here. So basically, I don't really need to work on the SQL map outcome and output anymore. I can use that interface to continue. So on that interface, we have the dashboard, post, categories, comments, users, and profile. These are the same content of what we have seen earlier. So I can go to all users, and one thing that you will agree with me is probably the domain names. So, on this challenge, the attack uh, machine is going through a web page upgrade. So there is old web page and new web page. And here for this Prometheus account, we have this olympus.thm, but for the root and Zeus, we have chat.olympus.thm. So this chat is a new subdomain and telling us that there can be another website up and running. So what we can do is we can go to our Etsy host file and add this domain for the same IP so that we can see the content on that one as well. Chat olympus.thm. Save, yes. Okay. All right. So it is in our host file now. So what we can do is we can try it out. Chat Olympus THM, and we have this login website. And as before, we can try Prometheus because this is the only one we know so far. And summertime. Okay. Now we have access to a new web page with the title of Olympus Chat app. All right. So that info is also on this SQL map, and I will tell you why I'm showing it again. Go to the chats. No. Yes. Okay. So if you follow what is written here and here, you will see they are just the same. Let me do something first. I will rerun the code and I will do this fresh queries because I made changes on the content, so it is showing you the content change. But I would like you to show the original content. The original content is here. Now, First, let's start with this one. Here, Prometheus is attaching a TXT file, all right, and then sending a message. He's saying that the upload was successful. However, the file name got changed, so he couldn't find it. And Zeus responding to him saying that, don't worry, we have a new IT sub IT work. Basically, there's a random file name generator. So once you upload a file, its name is changed automatically with a random file. That's why Prometheus couldn't find it. And if I now go back to SQL map, which includes more detail about that work, here you see the file that Prometheus attached is saved in the directory where uploaded files are stored with this name. That's the random file name. Okay, so that's a good thing. So we know what's happening. But what we need to know before all this work is, if you look at this down here, you see this browse comment and browse button. So browse button is really giving us the opportunity to upload a file. Now, the obvious first attempt is putting together a malicious file and upload it on the server. And on this malicious file, we may have reverse shell payload. We can have a listener on our local host, and this reverse shell can call back to our local machine, which will give us the full control. This is the typical way of getting this reverse shell connection. Now, in order to achieve that, we need to first know where the uploaded files are stored. We don't know about that yet. So we need to go with another round of GoBuster here. And this time we will go to this chat.olympus domain and try the common word list here. This is also a quick search. HT password, HT access, HTA, and I'll wait. Okay, so it's finished now. So we have redirection on this index PHP, JavaScript, static, and uploads. Well, that is the most likely place by the name, so uploads. Let's give it a try. Copy it and chat Olympus and upload. Let's see if I can upload the see the content on the upload file. I can, which is a good sign. As a webmaster, you wouldn't like third parties reaching to your web page and seeing the contents on the uploaded file. So you don't want to show that. That's good. However, if we follow the complete full path, such as this one here, if I take this and go to this uploads, oops. Okay, I just fixed that, so it wasn't a Google search. So that is the chat Olympus uploads and the file name. And now with that, I'm getting this message. This message is not important. This message is telling us now that we are doing it right. So our understanding is correct. Basically, if we can find the file name after this random generation, we can use that file name and use the full path to see the content or to reach to the content. Okay, so what we need to do at this point is of this. What we need to do at this point is uploading a file here, a reverse shell file, and we can get it from reverse shell generator. This here. My VPN IP, my localhost IP is 10.6.34.212. We can use port 4. Okay, and it's a PHP um, file, so I can go to this standard one, PHP pentest monkey. I can copy it, go to my local machine, and G. All right, so nano reverse shell PHP. I think I need to create that first. All right, paste it, save it. It's in there. Okay, so now I will go back to the website, browse to there, go to G directory, and that's what I have for the reverse shell. So I will open it and I will send it. Okay, so it is attached. Now I can go back to this SQL map and do this chats. I need to refresh it. So fresh queries is the argument that I'm putting, and I used to use this flash session argument, and flash session resets everything, so it goes through this scanning one more time. So fresh queries is a good argument to include. It doesn't go through the analysis from the start. It just adds the new content. All right. Well, you see the attached reverse shell that I attached today, it's available. So this is the file name. I copy it, go back here and replace it with this PHP. Well, it is, I'm just triggered the PHP, but I forgot to include a reverse shell on port 4444. Let me go back here and reload the page. And I don't get the reverse shell. All right. Let me start that. No, it's that file. Let me see, check on the connectivity. It seems that there is a connection problem. 217.141. Okay, the machine is pinging, so I should get the reverse shell up and running. Let's check on this one very quick. Oh, come on, 10 dot. I made a mistake here, so just let me go through it. Okay. Or I can go back to my directory. All right. No CD. And nano reverse shell. Okay. So I need to fix this IP address. It should be 10.6. Okay. Exit. Yes. All right. But that means I need to upload it again, right? Because I made a change on the file. So oops, I need to go to there again. Do I need to change the name? Let's change the name. I'll call it real one. Okay. And I open that and send it. Okay, I have the new files submitted now. Going back to this SQL map output and see the new name for that. All right, so this is the new name. I need to take that name, copy, and here. Let's see if I have my listener ready. Okay, I'm listening on port 444. Now I should get a callback. Okay, I got it. Awesome. So now I have my foothold on the target machine on this that data account. What I need to do first is see if Python is available. So Python 3 is available. I just need to upgrade the or stabilize the shell so I can use this generic Python pty command and then export term extern control Z stty row echo. Okay. So I am on the root directory for on this data account. What I can do is I can go to this home directory and we have Zeus as owner account. So here we are using this least privilege service account www.tech data, and we have a username Zeus on this machine. So we will find a way to horizontally move from the service account to the Zeus. But let's see what we have content on the Zeus directory. We'll go to Zeus first and then see what we have here. So we have this user flag. So let's capture the flag first. Okay, that's what we have. That's probably our flag number 2. Okay, that's the correct answer. So we have 2 more flags to capture. Okay, so we are in this vector here. What we can do here is we can try to see if we have any set UID privileges. So we can search for files with set UID privileges. The comment that I use for that is there are multiple comments. Basically, using this find option, it will be looking for the files on this whole directory on this machine, and then we will look at the permits or permissions where user has this S character to represent the set UID privileges, and we can look at the uh, file types, files as the type, and the standard output we don't want to see it, so we are basically suppressing it and sending over to this black box here, dev.no. So this should run fairly quickly and show us the binaries with set UID privileges. Okay, the results have to come out. Let me make it a little bit bigger here. So start from this one all the way. So snap and user directories are there. So probably the user directory where where we focus is, right? So this user bin CPU tils. This is the one based on my research of the available binaries. So let's take a look at what that really is. Copy. Let's first look at the privileges. On this binary, what's that? Okay, I put a space by mistake. I'm looking at this list of that. So this binary, CP utils, copy utility in a way. It has a Zeus privileges. All right. But as the data user, if I go and click on this binary, I can run it. So I can run this utility, but that utility has the Zeus privileges. So it's an advantage because we can use it to copy some files. But before we go over here, the question is what files may be of interest for us? And excuse me. And if you look at the content on the on this home Zeus directory, you see we have this hidden file for SSH. So we can use this tool to copy the private key for Zeus because we cannot reach that file now as dep data. But CP utils can help us to get this copied, and we can access to that file, and then we can use it to have an SSH connection for the Zeus machine. So let's try it out. So I will run the binary here. Okay, so enter name source file. So it is home Zeus and SSH, and the private keys ID RSA. We know that. Then I would like that copied out to home.zeus, and I think that's all we need to know. We need to give the name, I guess. ID RSA Z for Zeus. All right, file copy successful. Let's look at that. So ls like LA. All right, so you see, we can open this file. We can read that file now, and we didn't have this access before. So let's take this private key, copy, and I'll open a new terminal for my local host. Okay, I will have a new file and ID RSA, and I will open it. Okay, so I have this ID RSA. What I need to do is I will need to first change the privileges on this. I used to use 400 for that, so ls tag LA. So here the user only have this root, so read root. Okay, now we can use that to have a SSH connection to the target machine as username Zeus. So SSH, and we use I for this private key connection, Zeus and Olympus.th. All right. Now we have a question about the password for this private key. So Zeus's private key is password protected, so we don't have access to that, so we cannot go from that route. What we need to do at this point is to try if we can crack the password for that private key. And this John the Ripper has a module SSH to John. So SSH to John, we can use that, and we can take this private key of the user Zeus and generate a hash for it. So we now have a hash for the private key. Now we can go back to John the Ripper and take this hash and crack it using the RACU database. And with that, I have it also. Let me do it cd home, because I know where the path is for John. Just give me 1 second. John. Okay, this is where the John's pot is. Pot is really showing the is basically storing the cracked hashes. So I will remove that. Okay, now I'm going back to the directory. Um, okay, so I can rerun the John. And this time, since the path is erased, the memory is erased, John doesn't remember that he already cracked this hash. So he will repeat the process and crack the hash. Well, I'm showing that to you just for demonstration purposes because I did this work earlier. It should take um, less than a minute if I'm not wrong. I'll wait for a while and you can check on the status by clicking any button here. It says 0% achieved. Expected time is September 14th. But I know this is much faster than that, so we'll wait for a while. Okay, it's finished now. So the password for the private key is Snowflake on this Zeus user account. So I can go back to SSH connection again. And for the password, I will put Snowflake. All right, now I'm logged in as the Zeus user. So I am in the Zeus directory and I already captured the flag. So in order for me to get there to capture the third flag, I need to become the root. So I need to find a way for vertical escalation for the privileges. But I have this Zeus txt here, so let's see what it says. And this is a message from Prometheus to Zeus saying that I managed to hack my way back into the Olympus eventually. So he is saying that he has a permanent access as a super user to Olympus. All right. And that is not clear, but basically he is able to log back in to the Olympus. So let's see what we can get similar to what we did earlier, see the privileges. We can find privileges for um, set UID. And what I found useful on this case is looking for the files uh, where the uh, where the files are owned by the Zeus as a user or as a group. I tried user and group both, but I will show you this case where we are looking at the um, search for the files owned by the Zeus group. And out error messages, we don't want to see them, so they're just discarded. Okay, so it is showing the and it's a long list, but if you look at the content, in fact, it was very quick, so we missed it. So here on this home Zeus directory, these are the ones. And again, we have this user directory for CP utils. And then there is this web directory, web content, and you see a very uh, weird directory name. It looks like a hash in the beginning, but this directory name as well as the file name is really weird. So let's dig down onto that. I will take it, copy here, and cd, go to that directory, and if I see the content, so we have an index HTML and a PHP file. So if I cut out the PHP file, let me make it a little bit bigger. All right, we don't need that. We don't need that. All right, so on here, let me go up. Okay, so there's a PHP start here, and there's a password. Let's remember this password. And there are some comments. And towards the end, there is this IP variable, and you're insert, or you're getting this IP and the port. And if you go down here, obviously it is a reverse shell, because you also see this shell variable and things, and there's a binary, and I'll talk about this later. But now let's first try to explore that. What we can do is we can take, or yeah, we can take this directory. I have it on my there it is. Okay, what we can do is I can go to the directory here, and the IP address of the machine was that 10.10.217. So I can take it and find the directory. Okay, I'm trying to reach to the web directory here. So this is I'm just going up here. All right, so this is working. So I will take everything here, copy, and I'll put HTTP, and okay, let's see what we got. Okay, I'm getting this password input, and if we go back to this, and towards the beginning, we had this password, remember, on this PHP file. So I copy that password, don't say, and I'm given this Snowdew reverse root shell backdoor. Okay, so let's remember this Snowdew. I will come back to that. Now, here it says that you use this comment and put it on the address bar. Copy, I'll do it on a new page, on a new tab. And for the listening port, let's have a listener at port 1234. And for the destination IP, I will use my localhost IP, VPN IP 10.6.34.212. Okay, I need to open up a listener, and at 1234. Okay, it's up and running, and I have this, so I need to just enter it here. I think I need to enter the password one more time. Don't save. You see this connection sign, so it shows that we have this connection established. So if I ask who am I am the root user. Well, that is one way. One other way that I found useful is, let me search for this word Snowdew. Just give me 1 second. I can go here. Snowdew backdoor. Let's see if I can get that. Backdoor reverse shell. Snowdew. There you go. Okay, there you go. This one. It's a PHP. Where did I get this information? I had the website. Okay, that's good. That's good. So if you read the details of it, it explains what Snowdew really is. It's a PHP reverse shell backdoor. It's an open source code. And he says he uses a small SUID binary to escalate privileges on connection. So this is a key here. So it will help us to get the root directory. So let's go back to what we have so far. Now with that root password, I can go to root and do ls. I can get the flag captured. That's done. Now what I will do is I will go to this Zeus here. I'm on this Zeus account and I will look at the PHP code one more time, see if I can find a small SUID um, binary here. And in fact, it has this name SUID as variable here. And that's really the binary that we will be looking at. So what we can do is we can take this comment completely, copy it, and paste it. Now, instead of this SUD variable, I can take the binary directly. I need to erase it. So it's 2 lines basically, and the binary, and run the binary, and I'm root also. So this is really the second way. In fact, they all boil down to the same starting point, that we are finding a set UID binary and using it to gain privileges. So you can do it both ways. So I will continue with Zeus, doesn't matter for us here. CD home, is it the, let me see, ls, no, CD root, I'm sorry. ls get root, can't autocomplete. Okay, well, we have this flaming image of this God with the message, and then, well, we have this flag here. I'll copy it and go back to TryHackMe and place it there. So thank God I didn't do it late at night with this image in front of me. Well, we need to find this last flag number 4. Excuse me. And there's not here. Prometheus left the hidden flag. Try and find it. I recommend logging as a root over SSH to look for it. All right, hint regex can be regular expressions can be useful. That's the command here. And if I go to hint here, it says the flag is located in ITSE. I think this is a very useful hint. And I would like you to first look at the structure of the flags. They all have this flag and curly bracket, flag and curly bracket, flag and curly bracket. So we know the text on the flag and curly bracket, and then some characters. And we also know that the flag is located at the ITSE folder. So we don't need to do much here. Then we can just search for the flag, and we can use this grep. So we can first go to this ITSE directory, and so we can grab the flag. We can use grep option, and we can do recursive search and just flag curly bracket. That should be sufficient. There you go. So we have this SSL private bonus flag location, and that's the flag. Well, with all these hints, the 4th flag was very easy to capture. All right, that works. So this was Olympus challenge by TryHackMe, and the difficulty level for that was medium.